We are ready to reconvene to our regular session. So if you would be so kind as to stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We will move directly into item number 5 on tonight's agenda, which is superintendent's presentations. Dr. Cooper, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here this evening, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We have 3 presentations this evening, actually 4 presentations this evening, and we are super excited because lots to celebrate in our community, but we're going to start. Today is a special day. It is Veterans Day, and we want to make sure we are honoring our veterans thoughtfully. And so today we were able to participate in an event that you are going to get an inside look at. So Tracy, you want to give a little background to our event?
Yes. Today, on Veterans Day, our Comet community had the great privilege of honoring an incredible veteran and servant leader, Mr. John Looker. Mr. Looker is a U.S. Army veteran, Purple Heart recipient, and 2023 inductee into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, who's dedicated his life not only to our country, but also to helping others heal. After surviving more than 200 firefights during his service in Vietnam, he came home determined to continue serving, supporting fellow veterans for nearly 20 years on the Warren County Veterans Service Commission, leading the Department of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, and volunteering with countless organizations that uplift veterans and their families. This afternoon, members of our Mason High School choir, under the direction of Mr. Jason McKee, along with our MHS cheerleaders, members of the MHS administrative team, and the American Legion Honor Guard, surprised Mr. Looker at his home to serenade him with God Bless America and a cheer. It was a small way for us to remind him how grateful we are, not only for his courage in uniform, but for the compassion, humility, and leadership he continues to show every day. Today, we pause to say thank you to all veterans, and especially to Mr. Looker, for reminding us what service, sacrifice, and Comet community truly look like.
Hold you, stay forth for the spacious sky, and the rains of mountains, majesties above the fruited plain.
It was just such a beautiful thing. I've been really down a lot, and David knows that. And this really just made my day. I mean, to see all those students and Jonathan and Brandon and everybody, it just made my day. While I was in the service, I had gotten wounded, and I'd been pretty bad when I came back from Vietnam. I was in a terrible state because I was 24/7 and over 200 firefights, according to the captain. But when I came back, I felt it was my duty to help other veterans to get through. I've served on the Veterans Service Commission for 19 years now. It would be my 20th year. And I also do a lot of things for nonprofits. This year, I'm the commander of the Department of Military Order of Purple Heart. But I also like getting out in the community and being with the students that are still going and try and get them into some of the programs of the American Legion. America, God shed His grace on me. Veterans appreciate a thank you, but there's one other thing that you can do is ask them about their service. That really makes their day when you ask them what they did in the service and how long they served and where they served at. It lets that bring it out. And that's something that a lot of veterans don't do. They don't bring out that story. And I wish we could get more of them to bring that story out. It took me 25 years to be able to tell my story.
From sea to shining sea.
It was just so special that I really don't have any way to describe it. It meant so much to me to just have them come out. And it'll be with me for the rest of my life, the way that they came up here and did that for me. So I want to thank everybody involved in what you. The students were wonderful.
God shed his grace on me, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
Tracy and team, thank you so much for bringing that story to us today, and thank you to our veterans. And if we have any here today that have served in the military, would you please stand so that we can also thank you for your service as well, please. Thank you. We appreciate you. We have another celebration today as well, and this is a celebration. I think we heard Hall of Fame. You're going to hear Hall of Fame probably a lot tonight. This is a group I would put in the Hall of Fame. I would describe this group as a dynasty at this point in time. I did a little research, and I just want to share it, and then I'm going to ask Coach Reed to come up and set up the stage for us of what we always love to hear from our kids. But I did some research just finding out across the United States in girls tennis, are there any other teams that have had any streaks? Because this is the 9th year in a row that our girls have won the state. And I put together a little chart. And it looks to me that we are one of 10, from what I can tell in my brief research, one of 10 schools to ever accomplish such a feat. And there are no schools in the state of Ohio that have ever accomplished. I think there's a Golden Bears school upper something up in Columbus, Upper Arlington. That's right, Upper Arlington. They have 8. And we were tied with them until this year, and I believe we've moved into our own position as 9. So I just want to congratulate our girls tennis team, our coaches. They are just an inspiration to us. So Mike Reed, will you come down and set the stage?
All right. Well, thank you. I'm Mike Reed. And this is a special night for the Comets because we're here, but also because we have our whole staff assembled here today. We've got my co-conspirator, co-coach, cohort, Leighton Jones from Wales, right here. Leighton, could you wave? He helps me with the varsity green team, and we've got Tracy Algor, who's done the coach of varsity B team for how long now, Coach Algor? 7 years. And irreplaceable. She does a great job. And then also we have Brendan Reedy. Some of you may know the dad. Worked here for a long time and coached. And Brendan coached our JV this year. Does an incredible job. And it's really, I think, the best staff anybody has in the state of Ohio. So I'm really proud to have these guys here with us. So congratulations. So with that, I think I speak for the other coaches in thanking Dr. Cooper and the board and everyone involved in putting this together and getting us here and recognizing these girls. Thank you very much. For many years, my friend Kevin Wise was on the board, and he always made a point to thank the parents of the kids because he's really thoughtful, and I forget to do that sometimes. So all the parents, thank you for what you've done, all the effort you put into the tennis and just the kind of kids that you deliver to us, and that the faith that you put in us and the trust that we're going to not only teach them some tennis, but hopefully a few life lessons. So thanks to our parents. We've got the best parents. Okay, so I'd like to talk just for a couple minutes about our team, and then I'd like to have the kids introduce themselves, and then I'd like to bring up our 4 seniors up here if anybody has any questions for them. And well, here we go. We had a pretty good team last year. You know, we won a state championship, and it wasn't as hard as I expected. And then we had the whole team back. So it should have been a pretty good year on paper, unless we had some injuries. And of course, we had 5 of our top players for most of the season. It seemed like they had some arm trouble, some shoulder trouble. So I became kind of a bad guy because I didn't let a lot of people play that wanted to. These are thoroughbreds that want to play even if they're hurt, but I asked them to not play for a while so they could heal and get ready for the end of the season run. So we got through it. Everybody got in pretty good shape by the end of the season, and we were pretty good. And I don't like saying that. That's not something we talk about too much, about how great we are. You know, we'll talk about improving and, you know, being humble and things of that nature, but we don't talk about being great. But after the season was over and I had some time to reflect, this is a pretty good team, maybe the best that I've ever seen, and it was really amazing. So I'm going to just go really quickly through the some of the accomplishments that I thought were noteworthy. We had our 12th straight GMC title. Is that right? 12th straight GMC title. We had a GMC Player of the Year in singles. That's Emma Wagner. She won the GMC tournament. We obviously our 9th straight OTCA Division I championship. And this is really fun for me. We had 7 players. We entered 7 players in the sectionals. You got to get through the sectionals to the districts to the state. And last year, first time ever, we got all 7 players into the state tournament, which takes an incredible amount of luck in addition to a lot of talent. Did it again this year. But not only did we get there, those players all have to win their first 2 matches to get to the semifinals, which is the second day of states. I couldn't believe that we had 7 kids playing in the second day of states. I think there's 8. Yeah, there's 12 players across the state that are playing the second day of state, and we had 7 of them. Wow. That's a pretty strong team. And we also had a state championship doubles team. We had Sanvi and Moreno, Adriana Moreno and Sanvi Reddy won state championship in doubles. First time ever beating their teammates in the championship match, which was bittersweet, but it was great to have both teams in the finals. So in the past, we've had very supportive kids that maybe didn't play in the most important matches, and we've called them our bench gang. But this year we didn't really have a real vocal senior because the kids, all the seniors were playing. So I renamed the bench gang the Future, and because they were mostly freshmen and sophomores, and they're really good players. And hopefully you'll be seeing them next year at this. So so let's start with the Future. So if you're a freshman, if you would stand up and just introduce yourself and say one of those 3 things that you're allowed to say, and if you want to say 4, that's okay. But we'll start with the freshman right here.
Hi, my name is Evie. I really like Taco Bell.
That's it. Coach Jones, you were right. I was right. He was going to say, I'm Evie and I like Taco Bell. Evie, who freshman?
I'm Mega, and my favorite, I just had a really fun team memory of having team lunch with everyone.
Favorite memory, team lunch. Sophomores, say it loud, please.
Hi, I'm Bob. My favorite team memory were definitely the bus rides to away games.
Hi, my name is Maya Padilli. I'm currently a sophomore and I'm majoring in medicine, and I like
Chick-fil-A? Okay.
Hi, I'm Aditi, and my favorite memory was GMCs.
GMCs, which you won, right? 3 singles.
Hi, I'm Iona Camitol. I'm a sophomore, and I've been volunteering at the Cincinnati Open for the past 3 years.
Well done. Juniors? No, sophomore. I'm sorry, Jeff.
My name is Jenna, and I like my backhand more than my forehand.
That's good.
I'm Salmi Reddy, and I hope to run the business in the future and hoping to go to NYU.
Why you?
My name is Chloe Zhang. My favorite color is pink, and my position on the team is bench president.
Hi, I'm Emma Wagner, and I taught myself to juggle.
Nice.
Seniors, right? We've got 4.
Hi, I'm Addison Cassidy. I'm a senior, and I'm planning to play Division I tennis at Arden West.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Katusha, and I was one of the senior co-captains. My name's Anna, and I was also one of the senior co-captains.
probationary.
Hi, I'm Adriana Moreno, and I know how to hit a tweener.
The tweener is a very athletic tennis shot where you're going to hit the ball that way between your legs as you're running away from it. And Adriana's the only, I think she's the only girl that we've ever had that could hit that successfully in a match. She can do a lot of other things too. She's a spectacular athlete. Seniors, come on down and see if anyone has any questions for you. Senior co-captain Anna Goatee. That's the microphone.
Okay.
Well, Anna, I need to know why you're on probation as a captain.
Well, I actually don't know. Can you remind me?
There was a lot of, you committed a few errors. I think you were late once.
That was probably it. I think that was it.
I can't remember the other ones, but you got over you were off probation several times and then you were reinstated, but you're off now forever.
Thanks.
No, I'm sorry. The rapport and the vibe and the camaraderie, the team component of this, it's really, really evident with all of you tonight in the way that you speak to each other and quip something back to the other. It's really warming, very heartwarming to see that happen on a team. It's a sign of some excellent, excellent coaching outside of the talent that you were given.
Adriana, I have a question for you. So, being on a team that beat the other Mason team in the final, could you just reflect on that and tell us kind of what was that like going in, knowing that you were going to play teammates, but happy that whoever won, it was going to be a Mason team? Can you just share kind of your experience?
Yeah, it was hard, you know, because we're friends and we really like each other. I think. But you know, when you're on court, you know you have to do what you have to do. So it was great playing them, and you know, first and second Mason, it was great.
So any of you can feel this. Pressure is a privilege, and I just did the reverse engineering of the math. You all were in 4th grade when this started, right? So like when the 9-year streak began, you guys were in 4th grade. Talk to us and tell everybody what the pressure of knowing, first of all, you're in a tie with another school for the state record, and just what that sort of, what you guys were thinking about as you got to that this season.
I don't think most of us even knew that we were tied with Upper Arlington until the last match. So I don't think we really had much pressure in the first place. I mean, we know how we are as a team, and as long as we all got to play like how we always do, I think we were good.
So I had a opportunity. I knew that the matches for the state tournament started like 8 in the morning. Had to work, but over lunch break found out you guys were still playing over at the tennis center. So I came over there and was able to watch. It was crazy walking in, and there's 2 matches going on between 2 doubles teams, us on the championship court, Mason versus Mason, and then on the 3rd place game, Mason versus Sycamore. And just watching that, first of all, was incredible. But then on the championship game, Adriana, I think your team was up, and I was standing next to Coach Reedy, and next thing I knew, I look up and you were limping pretty badly, and there was I think kind of a gasp from the sideline, because it's one thing when you guys are both healthy and you're feeling that rapport, but there were a couple points there where your teammates kind of figured out, hey, there's some limited mobility. What's this going to look like? Are they going to be able to finish it out? And I kind of looked over to Coach Reedy to see how concerned he was, and I think paraphrasing the quote, it was something along the lines of, "Oh, this is interesting," and just kind of watching the demeanor of him walking and watching and seeing you work through that. Can you kind of talk about what that sort of calmness and the just overarching presence of the coaching staff has meant to you for your career and for your teammates?
Yeah, so I think we were like 5'4", 50 in loft, and then I rolled my ankle. I've been like having problems with my ankle because I keep rolling, because I'm like sliding all over the court, so I'm always like falling. So yeah, it was, but in my mind I was like, we're 3 points away, I'm gonna like keep calm, like I've been working really hard for this. So Sambi, she helped me a lot too, so I think that, and like my coaches too, my mom was, so I look at her and she was like, you can do it, like it's fine. So yeah, I just played, like I forgot about that, and we won. So.
And you got some ice on it, and you were able to play the next day too, right?
Yeah, I did.
That's awesome.
That's commitment.
So are you seniors all going to play tennis in college?
Do you know where yet?
Yeah, I'm actually committed to Case Western as of now, so.
Stay tuned.
Breaking news.
Stay tuned, okay.
I'm planning to commit to Army West Point this week.
Congratulations.
I'm planning to commit to NKU this week or next week too. So, yeah.
Very good.
I know that some of you have been told you're off now for good because of the situation with your age and years, but how about coaching? Any of you have coaching in your mind for your future?
Yeah, I mean, I love coaching. I actually already coach some little girls who go to Mason, so I do that in my free time. But yeah, I love coaching. I think I've been inspired just by our coaches who've been so positive, encouraging towards us, and it's just something I want to be able to do to young players as well.
And in that, what's your parting words to your underclassmen who now have to carry this 9-time streak, state champions? What do you want to tell your teammates as you guys walk off your high school careers as champions?
I'd say just keep working hard and believing in yourself, because we all know we're really good. We're a good team, but I think Coach Reed does a good job of reminding us that we're only here to get better every single day, and I want you guys to focus on just one day at a time, because the season really does go by really fast, and that we all believe in you and that you can keep it going.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
We have a team come down for a quick picture.
I guess membership has its
Here, I can get down here. Come on down.
Yeah, I hope we're okay.
Yes, we'll figure it out. They know how to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Them right here.
We had steaks at home last night, and tonight we're hoping to do something else.
All right, girls, we have to somehow come up with a way to be right here. Coach might not be getting up after that.
Amazing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. Did you get the pin too?
Yeah, we're giving
Wait, we have pins and we have
Pins,
Mason
we got these.
from the city of Mason, and we also have cups as well. Thank you. The future. Great. Coaches get cups.
Are you cold? Oh. I thought you said you were cold. I'm like, oh, I'm not.
Congratulations.
That can't be good.
All right, the celebration is not over yet. We have another group to celebrate. This is a group that I think this is their third consecutive mixed title, team state championship, if I have that right. Do I have that right, Coach? Okay, so I'm going to invite Coach GA up. This is our ultimate Frisbee team, which we love celebrating and hearing about the spirit of the game. Coach GA.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper, and thank you, board, for having us here. First, I want to thank the congratulate the tennis team on their championship, and Coach for all your hard work. And also let you know that this spring there's opportunities if you want to play ultimate Frisbee with us. We are always recruiting players to play. So anyhow, I want to start there.
Cross-selling, I love it.
Good.
Final form, sign up, and I'll get you. I'm going to bring up our captains to talk about the team. We'll bring up Andrew Shadig, Carly Chang, and Rebecca Bowser to talk about it.
So our team this year was Bryson, me, Rebecca, Carly, Lincoln, Beckett, McCain, Isidore, Romy, Eric, Aaron, Thomas, Scarlett, Andrew, Nasli, Ethan, Kyle, and Connor and Alex. And then we also just want to thank our parents for all of their support and help this season because they really did a lot for us and helped with everything.
Hi. We'd also like to thank the the principals and the activities directors, Lori Howard and Carrie Piper, and then also the athletics department and the facilities schedulers, Jenny Schmeichel and Melissa Shadig.
Last but not least, I'd like to thank our coaches, Gio Weddingale, Jacob Fields, Steve Tong over there in the corner, Steve Hardy, and then Michael McCoon, who could not make it tonight. I'd also like to thank you guys for recognizing us, taking your time out of the meeting to see us. That means a lot to all of us. We took states again, third year in a row. We played 3 games, Lebanon, Sycamore, and then Holy Family Catholic. All good games, all very spirited. In the end, I'm glad we came out on top. You guys have any Any questions about anything?
Well, do you have any good stories from the championship round?
From our final game?
Yeah.
We were all very worried about it. I'll tell you what. There was a lot of rumors going around. We weren't really sure how we were going to fare. And then we came out very strong. And then they kicked back. And we were, Jacob, he gave us a very inspirational speech during a timeout. It just involved a lot of yelling. But after that, we all kind of got in the game, got out of our heads, and then we kicked back again. And then we, 1 or 2 points scored in the second half of the game. We just racked them up very end and took states. I mean, it was a mindset thing in that last game, not so much skill. So.
Andrew, you're a senior this year, right?
Yes, I am.
So as you're wrapping up your ultimate career, can you just reflect on kind of just your experience, not just winning state, but just kind of how the program has been built up and kind of what it means to leave, going out on top and adding to your legacy?
I started playing in 8th grade, and seeing where I was at and then seeing all those players, it was very overwhelming when I first joined. And then I got to know all those players, and seeing them leave was kind of sad. And then I've got to see our band of 8 freshmen that are now sophomores now, but seeing all of you guys kind of show up at once. We got 3 seniors this year and a whole bunch of sophomores. So our future's looking very, very set, and I'm very excited about that. But I know that I'm leaving this year, knowing the team's in great hands. I expect a lot from these guys. I expect a lot. But I got to learn all the people that were all older than me. I got to learn a lot from them, and then I also got to learn a lot from the people I played with, but I also got to teach them a lot. It was a great experience overall, I think, despite the age gap between everyone. I think it's still a great community that I learned a lot in. It's a lot of growth. It inspired me to be a lot better of a person, both on the field and off. So I think it was great, just for me, on and off the sport.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So Ultimate's unique in that you play mixed, right? So you have young men, young women on the team together. Talk about how inclusive and how you guys incorporate that into the culture of how you play and what you do.
Well, first off, we need more girls. So if you guys want to play, we'd be open arms. But I think it's strong because we have a single-sex season and then having the mixed season, that there's space for both, and that it's very welcoming. It's very open. I don't think anyone's forced to be with each other. I think we all like each other, right? But it was great working with both male and female players. It's great to see the spectrum of just talent all around. People that have played since 6th grade, 7th grade, and people that this was their first year. And no matter what, everyone still wanted to come out there, work hard, play hard, and all had a great time. I find it very fun and entertaining despite having either no experience or a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't really see much between male and female. I think it's a great sport and community for both.
Awesome.
I'm looking at the picture here, and that looks different than the Lebanon Sports Park that the state tournament was last year, I think. Is this where did you guys play the state championship?
Over at the MEMI fields.
Oh, okay.
Back.
So we're starting to build up a little bit of a little powerhouse here, and we start to get to host the tournament. Is that right?
Oh yeah, we got that home field advantage.
Awesome. That's great. That's great.
Mason loves tennis. Mason loves Ultimate.
Mason
I'm just
loves
saying,
Ultimate, that's right.
we hosted the World Championships before, man. Come on.
That's right.
So you mentioned that you need some girls to come out now. You're looking for more girls. Has it been difficult for your team, other teams that you've played against? Is this a new concept or?
All teams, all around. It's just harder for female players to at least get them to play. I couldn't tell you why, but
it's okay.
I mean,
I'm okay with that.
I couldn't tell you why, but it'd be great if we had more female
you
players.
could tell me why, and I definitely wanted to know what your thought was. I'm
My
sorry.
thought, I don't know, maybe it's perception of the sport, seeing how it's a heavily male-dominated sport. I mean, maybe it's overwhelming to see, like, to fit in. And I mean, there's both mixed and there's single sex. So if you want to find a female-only team, go for it. But I also don't think there's a lot of girls that play already, so that's hard to find.
Gotcha.
So it's more of a once you get the ball rolling, I think, just like our program, we've had a lot of new players in the past 3 years, 2-3 years. So I think once we get some more girls, I think the program's going to thrive even more.
Okay, that's very good. Thanks.
Well, for those of us with daughters that may want to play someday, we appreciate the environment and the camaraderie that you guys have built and continue to build for the team. Thank you.
No better culture. I mean, firsthand experience. It's just a very welcoming, inclusive group of young people, and just very proud of you guys, and continue to be great ambassadors for your sport and growing your game. I know Coach GA is real big on growing the game, and you guys, especially with the clinics that you do. So plug for the clinics if you want to show up. We do offer those. So thank you guys. Congratulations. You guys are old pros, so come on down. Let's get our photo. But thank you guys. Thank you the parents.
Okay, it's a little, I know it's tough. We may need to kind of mimic a little bit of what we did. If we had we could even come forward, like give them a, yeah. That's great. But yeah, let's do that. There you go. Perfect. That's great. And now this way. Yep. All right. 3. Congratulations.
If we can ever help you, let us know. Keep up. Girls, I gotta get out here. I got a test tomorrow in Mrs. Messer's class. Mech. I'm like, oh, I know that class. That's legit, man.
It'll make you work.
You'll work hard in that. All right, well done. Great job, everybody.
So this is, we typically take a pause in our meeting. For those that don't want to stay, you guys will pause so to excuse you guys to go do homework or eat dinner or whatever else you're going to do on Tuesday night, or you could stay. And
Sean's about to
especially if you're related to any board members. You can
have a great one. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Coach. Great job.
Hey, real quick, look at this. I did do a quick analysis.
Man,
I'll send this to you.
Your own wife and kids.
I looked at all the schools, and some of these are repeats. test coming up.
I do want to share with you, I was in the fourth quarter of preparing this forecast, and we had some adversity.
Bring it home.
You know, we battled back, came together as a team. Here we are.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You're not getting a cup though, Sean. Sorry.
I got
Tough act to follow. Congratulations to our teams. Very impressive. They do a great job. So tonight, thanks for hanging with us, people who are here and maybe online. So the 5-year forecast, caught myself already. It used to be a 5-year forecast. Now it's a 4-year forecast. So our financial forecast is something that we work on and really use throughout the year as a planning tool to help us with our finances. We officially submit it to the state twice a year. This year we did, we officially approved it last month and submitted it to the state. We thought we'd take a few minutes tonight and kind of go through some highlights related to district finances. So try to answer a few questions here tonight. Where's the money come from? Where does it go? And then we'll look at some comparisons to other districts, both on the revenue and expense side. So first one, where does money come from? So this first chart up here, you can see the majority of our revenues, our operating revenues, comes from our local property taxes. So our community really is our biggest supporter. 2/3 again from them, and about 25% from our state foundation funding. Those are our two main sources that comprises over about 90% of our 90% of our total operating funds. On the next slide, if you take that 2/3 of funding we get from our local community and look at how much comes from commercial versus houses and residential property, you can see here about 72% coming from residential. So our families really are the primary source there as well. If you go back, the slides we looked at just a minute ago are from the current year, or from most recent year, fiscal year 25. If you go back 25 years and do some comparison, you can see in fiscal year 2000, that 2/3 number was actually about 58% then. So our state funding share or percentage has dropped, and our local community has kind of picked up that slack. And so we talked often about how grateful we are for the support of our community, and we couldn't do what we do without them. You can see here, again, over the last 25 years, how that has shifted more towards our community, and we really do need their support. So another take on this, or way to look at this, if this is a state revenue per student going back to fiscal year 15 and current, and as well as projections. If you go back to fiscal year 15, you can see our state funding per student was right at $4,500. You can go fast forward to fiscal year 25, which we just finished, still at $4,500. And so, again, going 10 years without really any increase per student in our state funding, again, really highlights the need and support of our community. You'll see that starts to tick up a little bit in fiscal year 26 and 27. So we're projecting some increases based on the most recent biennium budget and how that will play out for us over the next couple of years. So there's a slight increase there, but one thing I will say is even with that increase, from fiscal year 15 to fiscal year 27, you're talking about a 6.4% increase. If you average out over those 12 years, you're talking less than 0.5% per year. We all know the inflation we've experienced over the last couple of years. You look at 2022 alone, the CPI index in the country raised by over 8%. So again, the state is just not helping us when it comes to funding our community. Speaking of our community and the great support we have there, so this graph looks at our effective millage rates over the last 25 plus years. So again, there's different types of levies that we have. There's really 3 different types. There's either operating, bond, or permanent improvement. So this combines all of those. And so as we probably know, in the late 90s, early 2000s was really our biggest growth phase. 2011 was our high water mark in terms of enrollment. And so you can see the effective millage rates for each year. There are some that are green, some that are black. The ones that are black are because there was an operating levy that was approved by our community in that year. So you can see from 1996 to 2001 to 2005, there were 3 levies approved by our community in there, and really a huge amount of support from them. And you'll notice the big gap from 2005 to 2020. If you've been in the community for a while, we talked about this a lot during the 2020 operating levy cycle, and that was a unusually long gap between levies, and really kudos to the board and past boards and teams who really worked hard to make that levy last until 2020. The last thing I'll point out on this graph, sorry Tracy, is that if you look on the far right, there's a big drop from 2023 to 2024, and there's a whole lot of discussion around that concept there. So that is the reason for that drop is House Bill 920. We won't go into all the details tonight, but basically as values go up, the tax rate goes down. And so that is in place for us. There's a lot of districts in school that, and a lot of districts across the state that does not apply to. It does apply for us, but you'll see that drop in millage really puts us at the lowest effective millage rate we've been at since 1995. So
Sean,
been through a
just to
lot over the
clarify,
last 30.
that doesn't mean people are paying less. They pay roughly the same, but the millage drops down as a
Yeah.
so it's kind of as a percentage of property value.
Yep,
what that
good
number
question.
represents,
So,
right?
thank you for the lead in. Now I will talk about it. So in 2024 was a reappraisal year for Warren County. So counties across the state are either full reappraisal or update every 3 years. So reappraisal every 6, triennial update in between. So 2024 for us was based on, the increases were based on what was happening in the economy. The average home in our community increased by 28% through that reappraisal. And so if we were a district at the 20 mil floor, you're gonna see, if you have a 28% increase in value, you're gonna see a similar increase in what your tax bill is. But for us, again, not the case. Our average increase for our school tax was around 4%. And so to your point, 28% increase in value, 4% increase in taxes, it's really not the same at all. And that 4% really is from the inside millage. So any voted levies are gonna drop so that you're paying the same amount on those levies that you were the year before. Thank you. So where does the money go? We're a service industry. We talk about this a lot. We don't have widgets or inventory or cost of goods sold, and so our primary expenses are really in personnel. So over 80% of our costs are in our people, and our people really are our greatest asset. So you'll see that here. This is going to be the typical of any given year. We're always going to be over 80% of our operating costs are going to be on people. So we'll start to look at some comparisons now, both revenue and expense. So the first one that we have on a revenue comparison is for state revenue as a percent of the total. So a lot of this data comes from the CUP report. So schools across Ohio all submit their data to the State Department of Education and Workforce, or DEW. They compile all that data and release it in something called the CUP report, and there's all different types of data, facts, and figures that they release. On this particular report, we're looking at the total percentage of funding that Mason receives from the state versus state average. So for us, we're at 27% in the most recent CUP report. State average was 41%, so that puts us in the bottom 19.6% of schools across the state in terms of how much of our funding actually comes from the state. Next graph is the flip side of that, so how much comes from local. We're at just shy of 59% in the most recent CUP report. State average is 40%. That puts us in the top 16% of all schools in the state. About 610 public schools in Ohio. So this again puts us in the top 16%. Flipping over to the expenditure side, again using CUP report data, we look at total cost per student. So the most recent year we were at 14,000, just shy of 14,700. State average was around 16,300. Puts us in the bottom third of schools in Ohio. One of the things that's worth noting is that, credit to this board and previous boards, one of the long-standing goals of the district has been that we as a district provide our community and our families with a high-quality educational experience at a cost that's around or below state average. So you can see here, being in the bottom third is something that we're proud of, knowing the Mason quality and the results that we work hard to put out by all of our staff members for our families. You can see we are in the bottom third in spending. So next few graphs we'll break that down a little bit further. So this one looks at instructional cost as a percent of total expenses. So when you think of instructional, think of what's going on in the classroom. We spent about almost 62% of our operating costs were on instruction. That puts us in the top 15.7% of schools in Ohio, which is again a goal that we're really funneling as many dollars as we can towards the classroom. The next one, we're expanding that, take instructional and add another layer. So student support, it's going to include things like nurses, speech, OT, PT, other types of support. If you factor that in, we're at almost 69% of our total operating expenses, puts us at about the top 9% of schools in Ohio. So next graph looks at central office administrative costs as a percent of total. So central office is going to be, again, not thinking of building administrators, you're thinking more central office related. So 1.69% of our total operating costs come from central office. That puts us in the bottom 3.8% of Ohio Public Schools.
Can I just drop a
Please.
number?
Yep.
So at 70% of about 14.5 going to instructional costs, that's $10,150 spent with supports. That's that number. That last slide, $245 of the $14,500 that we spend per pupil when you're at the 1.69%. Please continue.
Yep. Great point. Thank you. So the next one looks at all administrative costs. So building administration, central office, all administrative costs. So central office is included within this number. It's not in addition to, it's part of this total number. So we're at 9.45%, which puts us in the bottom 1.8% of schools in Ohio. And so one of the things I think it's important to note is you look at a high percentage of our costs spent on instruction and support, a low percent of our costs spent on administration. A few reasons for that. One of those is just the large buildings we have do allow us to be more efficient. Another is that it really is a concerted effort to have a lean team so that we can put as many dollars as we can back into the classroom. So speaking of putting dollars in the classroom, one of the things that's really important to us is be able to be competitive in our compensation so that we can recruit and retain the best quality staff. And so part of having a high quality, Mason quality experience is being able to have the best staff that we can possibly get. And so again, compensation is part of that. We're happy to report for the most recent year that we're actually in the top 1% in the state of average teacher salary. And so we are fortunate to be able to, when we have a job opening, we often have lots of candidates who want to come here and join our team. Compensation is not the only thing, but it's a piece of that. Culture is obviously a piece of that, the big rocks and all the things that we're able to do for our kids and our families. But this really is an important piece of that, and to be able to say that, hey, we do compensate well, we are competitive in the market, and it's an important part of us being able to recruit and retain. So a little bit more about our staff. We'll look at education and experience levels. So in terms of education, we've got different buckets on where staff might be in terms of their salary schedule, whether it's in their education, whether it's a bachelor's or a little bit beyond that, or a master's, or a little bit beyond that, or a lot beyond that. So we have about 84% of our teachers have a master's degree at a minimum, and our biggest category, as you can see obviously up here, over 60% of our teachers have a master's degree, and then an additional 30 credit hours above and beyond that. So we have a highly educated staff. We talk about lifelong learners and quality education. Our teachers really are modeling the way in terms of making sure that they are highly educated as well. Next graph looks at years of experience for our staff. You can see about 40% of our teachers have at least 20 years of experience. So we have not surprisingly, we have a highly educated staff. We have a very experienced staff. We think of the big boom in terms of enrollment in the early 2000s. We were hiring a lot of teachers there every year. They've kind of at the point now where they're on that 20+ year mark. And so about 40% are there. Our average teacher has about 18 years of experience. And then when you think from 2025, so this summer that we just finished up to 2030, our journey to 2030, 25% of our teaching staff are going to be eligible to retire in that 5-year period. And so you might also have heard us talk about legacy and making sure that we are keeping up the excellent traditions and the quality that we have. And so that really is a big part of these are some of the numbers that we're looking at, saying, hey, 45% of our teaching staff is eligible to leave, and so that's important that we make sure that we are being able to continue that into the future. So overall, this graph looks at revenues, expenses, and cash balances or cash reserves. So starting on the far left side, fiscal year 21, so the black line or the black bar is going to be total revenues, operating revenues. So you can see 2021 was the first year that we started collecting on the levy that the community approved in 2020. So you can see that graph or that black bar start to increase over the next couple of years as that levy became fully phased in up until it was really phasing it up until 2023. And then you'll see it kind of stable and leveling off there for the next few years. Again, due to House Bill 920, as values increase, tax rates are decreasing, and so we're not seeing increases, not seeing big increases in our property tax revenues. That's why you see that black bar level off. The gray bar is just going to be a more steady increase. That's our expenses, and so over time we anticipate costs are going up, and so we're remaining competitive in the market. Insurance costs are going up, wages are going up, and so over time, eventually our expenses will exceed our revenues. So you can see over the last few years we did have revenues outpacing expenses, and that green line representing our cash reserves was kind of that balance that's kind of been building up a little bit. And we're kind of at the point now where we're super close to crossing over that line where expenses are going to start exceeding revenue, and at that point, obviously, then you start eating into that savings account over time. And so we are, as we sit here today, we're in a solid financial position. However, this is all part of our planning and our thought processes in the future to look at what kinds of things what options are we going to have, what kinds of things are we looking at in the future to make sure that we can continue to sustain Mason quality and Mason excellence, and our financial foundational rock is a big part of that, and making sure that we're in a good position.
And Sean, just to clarify too, that's the natural levy cycle, right? Like where revenues increase in time, your expenses are lower than the revenues that are coming in, but inevitably your revenues from a levy will stay level over time, but of course expenses don't. And so that is the natural life cycle of a levy. When you get to the end and you've dipped far enough into your savings, that's when inevitably, because of the nature of the beast, we will eventually, have to talk about going back to our community to ask for another investment. But I just wanted to just make sure that it wasn't going to hang out there, that is expected, that is the natural life cycle of a levy.
No, thanks for bringing that up. I didn't put the graph in here, but we have looked at a slide different times where it's a simplified version is a little bit of a stair step kind of a thing where if you think of just a normal stair step, you've got, and that kind of represents revenue. So revenues really go up primarily when a levy is approved by a community, and then after that they kind of stable off because of House Bill 920, and then your expenses are just gradually increasing. So revenues are stair stepping, expenses are gradually increasing. So you have periods of time in a natural levy cycle, to your point, Matt, where once you pass a levy, revenues are going to be higher than your expenses for a period of time.
You build up the cash balance during that time.
You're building up your cash reserves, and then eventually that's going to cross as your revenues really flatten out. When the levy's at full collection, then your expenses continue to rise, and then you're going to be in the opposite situation where expenses are outpacing revenues. You're going to start eating into those cash reserves, and so that really is a very typical levy cycle across Ohio. That's why House Bill 920 and that cycle is really why you see so many levies in school districts across Ohio. So
thanks, Sean.
And sort of to further clarify, it's not because we're starting additional programs. It's not because we're, going out and trying to find new places once we get a levy to spend the money. It's that expenses move over. It is a dynamic expense environment with a stayed revenue environment, right? So you come up against, you're doing utilities go up, gas maintenance on your bus fleet goes up. You renegotiate teacher contracts. So all of those things go up over time, not because you're adding programming or you're doing anything, you're going out and purchasing things. It is the natural life cycle of expenses. And so I think that's the other thing that people, when we pass levies, tend to think that we're going out and finding new ways to spend money. That's not the case.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. When you look at this from 2024, 2025, you look at the black bar all the way across, you'll notice that it's pretty flat. And so, again, we looked at our chart earlier showing that 2/3 of our operating revenues from our local property taxes. So when you have your 2/3 of your revenue flatlined, over time expenses are always going to go up, like you said. So we're not necessarily adding new programs or doing new things. It's just keeping up with the costs of the current cost of doing business.
That's right. And
so that's the bar representing 2/3 of our revenues. If you think about the other 25% coming from the state, we looked at that chart as well, showing that we had averaging a 0.5% increase per year over the last 12 years. So you combine those two things together, it really is over time your expenses will eventually catch up to you. And so the board, our team, we all do work really hard to manage those costs and try to make sure that we're efficient in everything we do, and hopefully some of these graphs do show that with expenses below state average. I like to think that we do a pretty good job of making sure that we are reasonable in our costs while we're also trying to provide a high quality experience for our kids and families. Any other questions on that part of it? So last note I had, if you follow politics in the state or watch the news, you probably heard some things about property tax reform. I know our board has been neck deep in this for a matter of months now. There's a lot of conversation on this, but the short version is just on the slide here. Property tax reform is something that's continuing to be talked about and discussed at the state level. Obviously, property values have gone up a lot over the last couple of years. Those property value increases, not necessarily here, but in other parts of the state have resulted in big increases for some communities. Again, not in Mason, but in other communities it's been the case. That's been a big driver for the legislature to start talking about what things they might do differently in terms of funding schools and property taxes. So that conversation was ongoing through the spring and the summer. House Bill 96 was the most recent biennium budget that went through that process in the spring and summer. The governor actually put some, the House and Senate put some measures in that budget bill. The governor vetoed several of those. The House and Senate came back and overrode the veto on some of those things. So it's just kind of an ongoing process on where we're going to land on this. And really that story continues to be written. It's not over yet. So something we are monitoring closely. There's 4 big pieces of legislation that are in process right now. We should know hopefully in the next few weeks if they're going to take, where they're going to go in the short term. So one of the things we are planning on doing in the next month, hopefully we have some more information on what the legislature did prior to going to recess for the last part of the calendar year here. So our plan is at the December meeting to have a new update on property tax reform and where we're at currently. Again, it's not going to be wrapped up by December, but at least we'll have a current status report on what things are looking like and how those pieces of legislation and other pieces of legislation that are being talked about could impact Mason schools in our community. So, questions? All right. Anybody has questions either here or in the community, feel free to reach out. Happy to take phone calls, emails, meet with people. It's an interesting and an in-depth topic that potentially has big impacts on our community, so always happy to answer questions and talk more about it.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Appreciate it. All right. I think we are at item number 6, hearing of the public, and it looks like we have a speaker, Mr. Ved Chabuswar. Please come down and take the podium.
Hello, my name is Ved Sabukswar. I'm the president of our school's Hindu Student Association, HSA, and I wanted to invite you here today to our annual Diwali celebration. So it's being held on November 21st from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Large Commons. It's going to be a celebration of not just Diwali, but a multitude of different festivals and traditions within Hindu culture. So we're going to have dances, there's going to be food, there's going to be celebrations, there's going to be crafts. We're going to have a photo booth where you can take pictures with some of the artifacts that we're bringing from our own houses and our own communities. So for our club itself, HSA, we have 2 main goals. So our first goal is to create a safe space to talk about Hindu traditions, values, and ideas. But our second goal is to interact with our community. And this Diwali event is one of the ways that we do that. It's one of the ways that we interact with the people within Mason, within our high school, and share a part of our identity with all of you. So we truly believe that the Hindu community within the school is an integral part of our high school community and of our Mason community, which is why we wanted to invite all of you to this festival on the 21st. And if we have permission from all of the board members, could we distribute flyers to all of you?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't think we have any more speakers for hearing of the public, so I will move to item number 7, Superintendent's Recommendations, Personnel Items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Cooper.
Yeah, I'm just going to run through the personnel list here. This is a simpler one because we're at that time of the year where we're halfway through the year and not as many hiring moments happening, but we do still have things on here that I'd like to point out. First of all, it's always good to see teachers coming back on our list for substitute teachers. I've seen some names of folks coming back, either they've retired, and we are so excited to bring them back on staff. So if you are a retired teacher out there, like Trish DeVore or someone else that might want to come back, we'd love to have you join us as a substitute teacher. It's always a blessing to have you back in the building. We are grateful for our substitute teachers for signing up, so thank you for folks that have come along. We do have a couple just things that I want to also just remind people. If you are interested in coaching, we were just talking to some new teachers. Dr. Blessing and I were. They are student teaching. They said, what's one thing that would make us, that would be a good thing for us to plug into the community? And we said, getting involved in coaching is a great way to do that. So if you're have time available and you heard the tennis team today, coaching is such a gift back to our youth. And so we are so grateful for all of our head coaches and assistant coaches that are coming on board here. You'll see in this agenda, if you're looking at it in like section W, for example, there's lots of coaching things here with basketball and bowling and swimming and wrestling, and there's lots of different ways to do that. So we split up we have supplementals. We split those up in several different ways. Sometimes it's very clean and like a half, but sometimes we have so many coaches, they split it up into small fractions. So you'll see those numbers on there. That's what that means. We do double check that and make sure that adds up to a whole, but it's a lot of coaches, and we're excited that there's so many coaches that want to be on board. But we also want to make sure they get paid as well. So you'll see that show up on our agenda tonight. I think that's the major pieces that I wanted to point out to you. We do have one other area. On section AE, we actually approved the assistant football coaches in this is a booster paid coaching position. And when we approved it the first time around, it was given to us, and there just was not, all the calculations were not exactly correct. So we double check that, and we just need to take the taxes out of that as well. So you'll see there's a revision here in section AE just to make sure we get that right. And so that came back around this time around. They're not being hired again. It's just the same group, just with the accurate number on there. I think that's it for the personnel.
Can you just quickly give the people that are watching, when we do the booster funded and we vote on that, what does that look like, or what's that?
Yeah, so if you are, so when you see on our agenda there's booster funded, the booster finances come through our treasurer's office and they get placed on here to be that transparent vote. Boosters make their decision at that level. So if you're a part of, for example, the football boosters program, they sit around as a board, they have their own board, and they make decisions, make recommendations, and they send those to us. Comes through the treasurer's office to verify that, to make sure that it all is accurate, and it gets placed on our agenda for an official vote for the public to see. Is there anything?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And so for anybody who is coaching or coaching as part of our staff, a football staff, a cross-country staff, whatever it might be, they are required to run those things through the district. And so that's why you'll see these booster paid things on here, is because boosters are not allowed to directly hire staff to be working with our kids and our teams. And so that's why those things are going to go through our agendas, because then they become our employees. They're just funded by the boosters because they have made a decision that they want to provide additional support for those teams.
Funded by boosters, not your tax dollars, funded by the boosters that support these sports. So, but they do run those dollars through this district. So that's why we vote on those. Thank you guys for clarifying that.
That's good.
Any other commentary? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mrs. Yingling?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Batchy?
Yes.
5-0.
Item number 8, Superintendent's new course recommendation, first reading. So Dr. Cooper, Dr. Brennan.
We do have courses for our middle school and our high school. So the first reading means that we are opening up this to public, and if anybody has questions, I would encourage them to reach out to Dr. Brennan and her team, and she'll get you to the right folks if you need to look at the specific materials. But you'll see in our middle school offerings, we have the Career Connections, the Interest Explorer Lab, and then the Journey Through Food, which is a very interesting one, and I think that was Adam Ring, is it correct, that brought that? I'm sure Dr. Brennan will talk a little bit about that in our committee updates. But that's an exciting one to learn more about. And then the second item there, Section B, is the Data Science Foundations coming into our high school as a new course proposal. It's actually talking to a student today that said they are interested in becoming a data scientist. And I said, well, you are going to be excited because the student achievement was just talking about this. So I do invite people to check out the material. The next meeting in December will be the second reading, and that is when we actually have a vote on this to move forward. So no voting tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. We'll move to item number 9, Superintendent's recommendations, action items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Sean.
Dr. Cooper.
Just 2 items tonight. We have Warren County ESC Special Education Agreement for a couple students needing a specific placement and support, and so you'll see those agreements on here. And then the Power School Agreement is, and if you have questions about this, I would say I would direct those to Christine and Tracy. This is specific to our communications that we use. It's something that we refer to as school messenger, and we get that communication out to our folks, and this is the contract that actually supports that communication platform. And those are the 2 that we have for tonight.
Use this for the snow day call,
Oh.
if you potentially might have one at some point this year.
With the weather changing, you want to sign up in case we do make a snow day announcement. So thank you for the reminder.
Any further commentary? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mrs. Yingling?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Batchy?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
5-0.
Moving on to item number 10, Treasurer's Report. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bevan.
So we'll have the October financial reports will be on the December agenda. So for tonight, all we have is a few donations. So I'm grateful for our community partners and individuals and businesses that support Mason quality.
Thank you, Sean. Any further commentary? Seeing none, Mr. Bevan, please call the roll.
Ms. Yingling?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Batchy?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
5-0.
Item number 11, committee reports. Looks like we're going to start with Athletic Council. Dr.
Yes.
Cooper.
Athletic Council, and feel free to chime in. I know we had a couple folks at Athletic Council, but the main conversation was about finances and unpacking our finances for athletic department. We have 1,800 athletes, roughly, and that is a great opportunity for our kids to plug in. We talk a lot about Project 100, getting our kids plugged in, but that takes funding, and so we wanted to look at that. Actually, Sean Bevan, our treasurer, came in and went through a line-by-line and comparison over the years and looked at our where are we now compared to where we were before. We looked at pay-to-play fees, all of those different components, just to paint a picture, a comprehensive picture of the finances for, and it's a big organization when you have 1,800 athletes and you're a big D1 school, and so we want to make sure that we're thoughtful on that process. So there's more conversation to come there, and we're just looking at how we make sure we're funding that well. The other piece of the conversation was around NIL. NIL is name, image, likeness. The state of Ohio is in this conversation. It's been in this conversation for a while, but we are one of 6 states that has not yet adopted an NIL process. If you're not familiar with that, that's where student athletes are actually earning money. That happens in college all the time. If you notice, it changed the college scene very quickly with lots of different things and people moving from different teams. But that is something interesting to us. I think the board will have some probably thoughts on that. They've given some great feedback on just how we as a district would view that process and what we would stand for in our values. And so that conversation is continuing as well. Anything you would add to either one of those?
Good. For now, yeah, we gotta. We'll get to it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we'll move from there to business advisory.
Yes, business advisory, and again, please feel free to chime in. We had I love business advisory because we bring business partners into our building. They get to come into the Dream Center. We typically share lunch together, and we heard from Tim King in the OWL program. He gave an update on that because our business advisory had not heard about some of the partnerships there, so that was fun for them to hear about that. Second, we heard from our XLP. Our business advisory always has an XLP update, which is our experiential learning student leadership team, and they just shared some of their numbers. Right now, I think if I remember correctly, they have 1,000 experiences that they've tracked so far, and they're on track to offer 4,000 experiences. Am I getting those numbers right? Is that about right? 4,000?
That is the goal. I think they might be a little closer, higher.
Are they higher?
I can't remember off the top of
I can't remember the exact
really
number.
On track. I remember
They just
they're
told
like
me
really
they're on
knocking it out of
track.
the park. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going off memory, but they are doing amazing work, giving great experiences. Today I was in the Dream Center, and they had lunch with architects, and so lots of architects around sharing their experience, and kids get to ask them questions. We have breakfast with business partners where attorneys come in and others come in and share their experience. So it's neat to see that continue to develop. They're actually presenting at OSBA on Sunday. Sunday at 2:30, our XLP team will be presenting at the state level, sharing their story as well. And the last thing we talked about was property tax and the whole property tax conversation. And Sean did an excellent job, talked a little bit about it today, and we'll hear more about it in December.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. And last but certainly not least, Student Achievement Committee, Dr. Brennan.
We had our meeting was really focused on new course proposals, and just a little bit of context. It's an ongoing cycle here, and it's really one of the fortunate pieces of having larger buildings is that we can offer a great variety of courses to students that meet a lot of different interests and needs. And we're really committed to continually looking at those to figure out what is needed, what are students looking for. Sometimes it's also a teacher passion that then sparks that passion and interest in students. And sometimes there's other changes that kind of spark the conversation about new courses. And so we had the opportunity as a committee to hear proposals for 3 of those courses, which are on the agenda tonight. That started actually last year. So we try to really balance making sure that we can be nimble and pursue ideas relatively quickly at the same time that we're vetting them and we're intentional, because there are resources that are devoted, whether it's to course development, to supporting teachers, or it's if students are taking one class, that often means they're not taking another one, and so there are adjustments in the schedule that happen. We heard one course proposal at the high school level. You saw that from Nikki Harding and Erin McAlpine. Math teachers here at the high school presented that for data science foundations. It's a really exciting, in-demand field, and we're excited to be able to offer this class. It's something that is in part coming from a change at the state level. So it's a class that's been piloted through the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, and now is allowed as a replacement for students if they want for Algebra 2. So students who are maybe looking for alternative math pathways, and also I think could just appeal to students who are very math and STEM oriented and looking for additional math electives. So we're looking forward to being able to offer this, and in part because it is connected to this initiative at the state level, there's great support. Our teacher who will be teaching that, which most likely will be Mr. McAlpine, assuming it's approved and we can offer it, will join a network of other educators in the state who are developing and learning the material in the course, since it's something that is a little different than what some of our educators might have experienced in their teacher training experience. And then 2 really exciting new semester-long electives proposed at the middle school. One, excuse me, that Dr. Cooper mentioned was proposed by 2 social studies teachers, Adam Ring and Megan Overby, Journey Through Food. So this is a social studies elective, and the proposal you can see is linked. It goes through lots of connections to social studies standards, but piquing students' interests by tapping into something they are very interested in, food. And so they've been able to draw all sorts of connections to how people have gathered around food, origins of food, how it's been traded over time. So a lot of great ways to dive into those grade level social studies standards. And then the last one is it's a little bit different. It's career connections and the Interest Explorer Lab. One of the drivers for this course is that historically there has been a state law that says that middle schools, if they do not offer CTE or career technical education courses, they cannot offer those, but they apply for a waiver and say we're not offering those. And that's what we've done now for many years. We offer classes that we would say meet some of that same type of content, graphic design classes, media maker classes, but there's a whole lot of other rules and regulations when you want to call them CTE classes in terms of licensure and so on. And so that law changed for this next year, and all middle schools in Ohio, there's no more waiver for those. Every middle school in Ohio must offer a career technical education offering. And so we really saw this as an opportunity. This is one of a menu of classes that I think is a really natural extension of the My Mason Journey specialist class that you've heard a little bit about here previously. It allows students to explore the one requirement is that they have to explore the 16 career clusters that Ohio divides, which is a great requirement, right? It's a way early before they're selecting high school courses to look at what's out there. And then the rest of it really will be our design, to be able to connect that to what they're learning about themselves in My Mason Journey, about their strengths, about their interests, and what they might want to pursue, opportunities to bring in guest speakers, to really tap into our junior XLP program for students to explore those possible futures. So that's the Career Connections class. All of those are available. We also, anyone who's interested in learning more certainly can reach out to me, and I can connect you to those people or talk to you about them myself. You also can hear firsthand from the teachers who've shared them at our Teaching and Learning Night, which is next Wednesday from 6 to 8 o'clock here at Mason High School. So they'll have the proposals and be ready to talk more or answer any questions that anybody might have there. And then last but not least, it is a full circle, and we don't just sort of propose the courses and launch them and move on. We're evaluating, right? Is this the right move or not? So the committee also had the chance to see 2 courses that were reviewed last year in action, ASL, American Sign Language 3, and our Cybersecurity 2 course as well. And so it's fun. We learned some new signs. I don't know if you still remember pineapple. I think I forgot. Or there was a sour face one.
Like that.
Yeah. So just appreciate that the committee has the opportunity to learn about the courses and then to offer insights that allow us to do some revisions and make sure that they're ready to go before Dr. Cooper proposes them to you. So that was long-winded. I appreciate you giving me the chance to share a little bit more about each of those courses. Thanks.
Thank you so much. We love hearing about our new course proposals and seeing them in action. It's always fun. So thank you all for the committee updates. We'll move to item number 12, legislative update. Dr. Cooper?
Yeah, legislative update. You heard Sean talk about levies and taxes and some other things tonight, and I think Matt asked the question about, is that a normal cycle? And yes, that's the way that it is designed. Property taxes are the main funding source for schools in the state of Ohio. That system was built before all of our time. It wasn't something we came up with, but that is the system that we play in, and we try to do that well and be fiscally responsible with that stewardship of our taxpayer dollars. And so with that said, and you heard Sean talk about House Bill 920 and how that continues to keep it right where it is. And so, but the rest of the world continues to get more expensive over time, gas, transportation, I mean, everything. And so with that, I just want to give a quick update on the levies around the state, because that is a normal cycle. It's part of how schools are funded currently. And if you look at the state numbers, I'll just give a quick summary here and not go through all the numbers, but there were 114 school levies that were just on the ballot was that last week, a couple weeks ago? And 74 of those levies passed, so around 66% passage rate. That's up from 51% in 2024, so that is up in terms of total passage. However, when you start to get into the details and you look at them, 15 of the 45 of these 45 of the 114 were actually new money levies, because the other levies were renewals. So the renewals really drove that number. The renewals passed at 92% passage rate, but the new money levies only passed at around 33%. So when districts were going out to their communities and asking for renewals, which is oftentimes what districts will do, communities supported that. When they went out for new money, which is the way that the whole schools are funded, that was a little bit harder with 33% passage. Now, we congratulate, we had a mix around us with the local taxes around here. We had some creative solutions, like our neighbors at Kings did a creative solution where they actually passed an income tax with giving some of their property, 1 mil of their property tax back. Those are interesting models, and the reason I bring that up is because one of the things that legislators are telling us on a regular basis is, with the property tax conversation, right now there are 4 bills, 186, 335, 129, and 309. Those are 4 bills that are currently working through the system, and there is a chance those will get to the governor's desk before Thanksgiving and passed, and those are all property tax bills, trying to adjust property taxes to give some relief to taxpayers. However, those will have a direct impact on public schools. Most of that impact will be on schools that are in a 20 mil floor, which is another conversation we won't get into tonight, but if anybody would like to understand that further, I'm sure Sean would be happy to sit down, or myself to go through that. I just share that because one of the things that we hear from legislators is we need to diversify. So that's what Kings was trying to do, I believe, with the diversification of saying property tax is the main way that schools have been funded. Well, if we add an income tax does not work the same because it doesn't have the House Bill 920 that keeps that cap on it. It will grow naturally with incomes, just like sales taxes grow naturally with sales. So I just share all that. That's a big conversation right now. We can have a lot more of that. We'll give another update, as Sean mentioned, in December because we'll know more. But we are watching those. Other things that are happening at the state level. I want to thank my team, Dr. Brennan, Dr. Buemiller, Chrissy Huffnagel, and team, just helping me think through thoughtfully how to testify on House Bill 455, which is the deregulation bill. We're specifically trying to get the state to change the way that they are measuring this future readiness measure, and we can talk more about that. I won't go into great detail tonight, but we have given lots of recommendations, suggestions, and so right now they're working through that. That went through the House and the Education Committee. It's going to go on to the Senate. We'll keep those conversations going, but hopefully we're all about accountability and measurement, and that's great. We want to communicate that transparently. We just want to make sure the measure on the report card actually measures the things that are happening, that are actually preparing students for the future, and communicating that clearly. So those are some just quick updates that are happening at the state level. Lots happening. Pay close attention because a lot of that movement is going to happen over the next, just the next couple weeks. So we'll stay tuned.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. Point of clarification, Mason City has an income tax that we do not participate in.
That's a good clarification. Yes,
just
it
as
is.
Kings got their 1%, the city of Mason has 1%, but we do not see any from that city income tax, if anyone was wondering. All right. I think we are at item number 13, administrator commentary, and we will start with Mrs. Carson.
Very good. I have a slide that I'm going to wait on to let Dr. Brennan talk about Experience Mason Quality Night, and I want to just encourage our community. We're getting into that kind of season of giving, of holiday, and thinking about Thanksgiving and holiday help, and we have a big effort and a big number and a big challenge in front of us. We have about 1,000 comets who we know that we are going to be needing to really wrap around this holiday season. And our community came together last year in a beautiful way that said we're going to make sure that each and every one of these kids will have something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read. We've had some incredible support. The City of Mason is helping fund the spirit wear sweatshirts for half of the kids. Kiwanis is also helping fund that. We've got blankets. The Rotary has funded the blankets. We have gifts we have books that are coming from Mason Schools Foundation, but the gifts are still something that we need. And then we also are providing all the food, which Comet Cover does, but they could use assistance and help in that. So we have several ways to give, including if you're a parent, you can do it through your Pay Schools account. There's a way to do that right there in Pay Schools that you can pay. You can do it from a PayPal. If you're a PayPal person, if you scan, you can figure that out. Or you can also text to give MCS Holiday to 53555. Every bit of those dollars. There's no staff involved. It's really a community effort, and we'd love to really make sure that our kids are taken care of at the holidays.
Thank you so much, Tracy. We will move to Dr. Brennan.
I think I have a great visual. There we go.
There we go.
Thank you, Mrs. Carson. Yes, so next Wednesday night is our Experience Mason Quality Teaching and Learning Night, formerly known as just Teaching and Learning Night, but it is excitingly expanded for this year. So just as it always has been in previous years, this is an opportunity for a family to come and learn about the learning experience for their child right now, or maybe what's in the future. Might be a new family and wondering, what does reading instruction look like for my first grader or my third grader? And they can come and hear directly from our educators about how we approach reading instruction, all of the different elements of the reading rope that are intertwined into that instruction. They can learn about math, or maybe they're wondering about math pathways and what might that look like for my child in the future. Our teacher leaders will be there. We have information for every content area, for our specialist classes, core content. And the added sort of bonus for this year is at the high school level. It's also an expanded, you think about this time of year, you might see signs around the neighborhoods for open houses at a variety of high schools in the area. And we thought, well, we should have our own, right? And it really is a tie-in to this event. So it is all about teaching and learning. And at the high school, athletics and activities will be represented there. We have student leaders who will be offering tours to any family who's interested, and some presentations in the auditorium as well about athletics and just about the high school experience in general. So whether it's a current high school family, it's one of our current 8th graders and their family who's maybe just ready to get pumped for what's ahead and thinking about what are the course offerings that will be available to me, or a family who's thinking about is Mason the right fit, right, maybe for next year or in the future. We welcome everybody to Teaching and Learning Night, 6 to 8 p.m. here at the high school. Events at the high school, there will be a kickoff or an orientation to the evening at 6 o'clock in the auditorium for a family who kind of wants to know where do I go if it's a new building. But also people are certainly welcome just to come and go. And then I can't just let the other thing go, which is it's an exciting week because Friday is also, the 21st is our second journey day of the year, and it's a focus on students reflecting on themselves as leaders. And so I do also want for our families just to think about, and huge shout out to Tracy and crew for developing a lot of community quests. We saw the wayfinding moment about the Kiwanis bike repair experience, all sorts of different ways to connect with the community. And signups for those close on Friday. So please, if your families haven't, I know sometimes myself, you're kind of waiting last minute, figure out, what's the plan, but that would be something to check out this week. Those are all on our website. So, thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Brennan. Dr. Blessing.
Well, good evening. Happy Veterans Day. Tracy, thank you for the Purple Heart recipient. My grandfather was one, so that was so neat to hear that, and great recognition for him. So thank you. Congratulations to tennis and ultimate frisbee. How exciting to see all of those young leaders stepping up tonight. It was great. And our donations, of course, we're seeking more, but the folks who made donations this month, that's always appreciated. And shout out to our new teachers. Mr. Messer and I had the opportunity to travel around the district last week and this week to visit their classrooms to see how they set them up and see them in action teaching, and it was just great. So we're very proud of our new staff and are looking forward to their legacy and new folks coming soon, right, in 2026. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you so much, Christine.
Yeah, I want to congratulate the teams that came and presented tonight, because it's such a joy to see the sense of community. So they're fantastic athletes, but there's leadership, there's camaraderie, there are all the things that you get as being part of a team. And it's great to see the coaches and how they're empowering the students. So I want to congratulate them. I also just want to say, have a safe, happy holiday.
Thank you so much. And the not Todd Petrie.
Got some newbie.
Eric Messer, welcome.
Different sitting down here today. Just want to say also thank you to all the veterans out there as well, but also for all the staff members who took time to recognize veterans today in the buildings and what they're doing. It's always a great day to have that. I really enjoyed the MI and also seeing that video there. And like everybody else said, that the teams we had here today, it's just not the teams, but just amazing kids. And listen to them talk and think, when I was in high school, to have those conversations and to be able to do that was quite impressive. And just happy to be here, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Messer. Mr. Bevan.
Same here. Congratulations to the team. A big thank you to our veterans, and just wish everybody in the community a safe, happy, encouraging, restful holiday season.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Cooper.
Welcome, Eric Messer. It's good to see you, officially in your first meeting here. So thank you for joining us. And Todd, I know you're watching live, so we'll talk with you soon. I'm sure we'll be on the phone soon. Tennis, I love hearing the humble, hungry kids. We do have great kids, so congratulations, tennis. That's such an accomplishment. MI Veterans Day, as Eric mentioned, what a delight to see all of our kids singing and see the families come in. And I always get to I try to make it to the door at the end to say goodbye to them, and they're just so grateful to see our kids honor them. So just so glad we do that. There's a teacher here that retired but came back. His name is Vance Reed. You may have met Vance Reed. He goes by Van. Vance Reed just got entered. He got nominated and brought officially into the Hall of Fame, the Wrestling Coaches Hall of Fame this last weekend. So if you see Vance Reed out there, congratulate him, because that's a pretty big deal. He spoke. When he got done speaking, it was a standing ovation because of the passion that he brought. And he said a few things I thought were so true about us and the culture here, but also just about him, about it's wrestling, but wrestling is about the relationships, and it changes people. And so it's just such a great thing, the focus that our coaches have with our kids. If you're out there and you ever have a need, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are always available, whether it's a need to learn more about our curriculum, what's going on in our classrooms, to learn about how to get a job here, whatever your need is, technology support, whatever it is, facilities, rentals, I could go on and on, or you just have a need for a friend or a family. We have a tip line. So if you don't want to reach out directly to us, we have a tip line that is on our website. It is in front. Every building has a sign for it. The tip line can be anonymous. We've had 72 tips already this year. Typically, we have a couple hundred tips, sometimes up to 300 tips a year. And so we encourage you, people use that. We monitor it all the time, 24/7. We're always responding to it. We can respond back to you anonymously, but please do that. Our students use it, but that's where we really solve problems, and we get together and we actually move forward together as a community. So if you ever have a concern, do not hesitate to use that. It's our way of reaching you and making sure that we have the right resources. And I can tell you for a fact that the tip line saves lives. So don't hesitate. Please use it, and for whatever that is, and we're happy to reach out. One thing I did miss earlier today, James Turpin. I think it right. He was on the retirement. I meant to say it. He's retiring, and so is Jan New. And I just want to thank them for their service here, because without people like that, things just don't work. And so I really appreciate them. I know Eric's been working with them. So, and don't miss the Mason Quality Experience Night. Dr. Brennan mentioned it. Come out and see what's going on here. Like, if you're just wondering, want to see what a high school looks like, the largest high school in the state, and what that offers, come out. And when you go to these you go learn from the third grade classroom, come to our high school and check it out. Like, we're really excited to show you what goes on here, the exceptional experiences that happen in Mason High School. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper. We will move to item number 14, board commentary. And I'll switch it up and go to my left and start with Ms. Connie Yingling.
All the way down here.
All the way down
Below
there.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a busy time this month so far, and it's not quite half over. But Eric, welcome to where the fun really happens, to the board meetings. We are excited to see you in a new position and taking on some new challenges. We know you're capable, and we're very happy to share that with you and to see how you come through with new ideas. I also am very, very pleased. Every single year, this district answers the call on Veterans Day. Every single year. It has a priority. It has never wavered, and I hope that it never does, because the people that you celebrate on that day, they deserve so much. There are things that they endured that are sometimes beyond even conversation. I have some friends who have some stories about the Vietnam conflict, and it's very tough. And there were some very encouraging words from a veteran tonight on that tape, helping other veterans, and that was just so heartwarming. So thank you for making that a priority. I hope that it stays that way. It's something that our kids should forever keep front and center. There are a few other people that need to be congratulated tonight. One of them would be Mr. Orr, and one of them would be Mr. Galvin. Another would be Danny Timmons with a win in the election. I know it's a lot of hard work. It's a labor of love, so your commitment to do it, I really appreciate. I won't be sharing it for much longer, but I really do appreciate the people that want to step up and are able to serve their community. If you live in a community and you want it to be a great place, do something to make that happen. Not everyone can serve on a board. Not everyone has this time available, but you can do something, even if it's just showing up to actually vote your voice. So congratulations to you all. I know it's going to be a good 4 years for you. We have some really incredible athletes that were here tonight. Tennis and ultimate frisbee. It's so much fun to celebrate the kids, and it's always so fun to bring them to the podium and hear what it really meant to them, what a difference it's making in their life, and how it's forming their future. So many of them are really confident with the skills that they're picking up, leadership skills, communication skills, athletic skills that they may use in the future for playing at a higher level or coaching others. It's just so wonderful to see all of that. And Vance Reed, boy, that guy, when he came to Mason, he moved people immediately. He has that kind of aura, of thing about him. He is just a wonderful human being, and what he shares with our kids gets them to open up, and that's so important for them to have someone or a place that they can open up and really talk to a trustworthy adult that understands some of what they're going through. And teachers have done that forever. There are just some superstars like Vance Reed. I really appreciate him. So glad to see him back for sure. And I think with that, I will end my evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Yingling. I'm not sure if the camera can pick up on her gorgeous manicure, very Mason green, so well done.
It is Mason green.
It's gorgeous. Mr. Galvin, coming to you.
Well, I want to echo Ms. Yingling's congratulations to you, Mr. Orr, and to Danny Timmons on your election wins this past week. Also want to commend all of the candidates who ran and won election on the city council race, and also just everybody who threw their name in the hat. In particular, Dave Charpentier, who's somebody that we've seen and recognized repeatedly in our community. I know he was on the wayfinding video tonight. Somebody who has a heart for service and is somebody who was very, very much invested in the campaign, and that showed through. So agree, Connie. It is, I think, a hallmark of a great community that we have more candidates than seats available sometimes for serving, and we appreciate everybody who throws their name into the ring, and we look forward to moving forward now. I think I can speak for everybody when I say so. I also want to say Happy Veterans Day to everybody, especially our veterans in our community. I had the opportunity to attend the celebration today at Mason Intermediate School, and it was a very impactful and moving tribute to our veterans. Deanna Todd, the principal there, Mr. Messer, I know you were there and still, kind of assisting and helping out, and the whole staff there that facilitated that. I just couldn't help but be in awe of how all of those 5th and 6th graders were locked in, dialed in for about an hour as we were moving through the program, and just like trying to think back to when I was that age, if I would have had the attention span and the appreciation that those kids did. But for all of the veterans who were able to be in attendance, and for those that are able to watch that program that I believe ICRC-TV recorded, I think that the impact and the appreciation was deeply felt by everybody there, and it is definitely a hallmark of our community and our district that we show that appreciation and do it as well as we do. So thank you, and kudos to all those who made that happen today. And then we have a lot of folks in need in our community this holiday season. So I would just remind everybody of all the opportunities there are for you to give to those who are less fortunate than you, and to those who are in need but perhaps not really sure where to seek need from. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We have lots of partners within our district, whether they're officially a part of our district or they are adjacent to our district. I know that sometimes the pride can get in the way of asking for that help, but we encourage you not to sit by and go suffering in silence. Please reach out if you need assistance at this time. That's all for me.
Thank you, Mr. Galvin. Ms. Batchy will stay on this side of the table.
Thank you. Yes, an echo of Ms. Yingling and Charles. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. I know how that feels, and I know it's a relief on Wednesday, right? That you can breathe and sleep in, maybe. Sean, I just want to thank you. You do such a great job presenting the financials of our district, and just the way you can process it and explain it to us is very much appreciated. And it's very clear and very transparent. So I'm thrilled to have you at the helm of our finances for the district. Mr. Messer, you threw me off guard, honestly. Your head was down, you looked up, I'm like, oh gosh, it was
It's not Todd anymore.
It's not Todd. So welcome, it's great to have you here. And Miss Yingling, it was sad not to see you on the ballot for the first time in many elections, so enjoy, I'm sure we'll celebrate you later, but enjoy.
Oh, I was happy to give up that midnight run.
And that's all I have for right now.
Thank you, ma'am. Vice President Steele.
Yeah, just very quickly, happy Veterans Day to all who have served. And Tracy and team, thank you for putting that video together and for everybody who made that moment with Mr. Looker happen. He's a fixture in our community. Saw him at Saturday at the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast. And so it was really neat to see that touching moment with him and him being recognized in that way. Since our last meeting, we had the Mason Schools Foundation Gala, and it was a tremendous success. Just a really great night to celebrate all the great things about Mason, quality, the foundation, the things that our teachers do and our staff do in our schools, and to do it right here in our Dream Center and to celebrate in that space was extra special. We're going to find out kind of final numbers tomorrow morning at our meetings, but just to give a small piece of how it was immediately successful, our paddle call. $22,000 raised.
Actually,
on the
$28,000.
$28,000. That was as of that night. Now it's up to $28,000. Just on the paddle call. That's just people saying, "I'm going to donate."
Do I hear 2,000 more? Anybody else? Close us out at around 30,000.
Exactly right. So thank you for everybody who put time and so much effort into that and making that a wonderful evening. And again, congratulations. We did have an election. Congratulations, Ian. Congratulations, Charles. Congratulations, Danny. Can't wait to serve with you in this capacity. And thank you to everybody who put their names out there and did so much to connect with our voters. And like Charles said, especially David Charpentier. You give so much to our district and our community, and we just thank you for stepping up that way. It's just a realism in elections that there are a lot of good people who could do a really good job, and more than there are seats. And so oftentimes somebody is left on the outside, but we're so excited to see Dave, how he'll continue to serve the district and what that looks like going forward. So that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, sir. The beauty of going last is I can just say ditto. Happy Veterans Day. I think it's one of those designations that comes without a display, right? You don't know when you're around a veteran. And so to be able to have a day where they get pushed to the center and we can focus attention on those that have served the country and not just in an abstraction, but in a very concrete way, each one of us without fanfare, putting their lives on the line is such an awesome thing that we do, and to Connie's point, we do that really well. So very, very proud of us as a community, as a school district, to let those people step forward and get their just due and their congratulations. So thank you guys for making sure that went off well. Congratulations, Charles. Congratulations, Danny. I think running local elections is a curious matter, right? It is, you go through the gamut of emotions, you go through the gamut of experiences, and we all come out better for it. So I think having forums and having active participants like the three of us and Dave Charpentier, it makes us better. And it allows us to recalibrate what is our why and why do we want to continue to serve. So big thank you to the Mason Schools community for re-electing not only myself but Charles and Danny. It is a humbling honor, one that we don't take lightly, and just grateful to have your trust for another 4 years and really do what you guys want to be done in maintaining Mason quality. And to that end, Sean gave a great presentation tonight about the financial health of our district. And I really want us as a community to understand that where we are today is in a really, really, really strong spot, as evidenced by the transparency that we're inviting our community in to see what we're doing. This isn't something that we are trying to be nefarious or hide behind walls. The barrier to entry is zero. You can show up and we will show you what this work is, what we are investing in, and it is our students and it is our staff. It is in the classroom where we spend our dollars. So, as school choice sort of proliferates in this state, we continue to be the educational option that serves most of this district very, very well. We understand that for some students, this isn't the correct environment for them, but I think for the vast majority of students in our community, this is the best educational option. And so we want to continue to make it that, and we want to show you why we believe that, both academically, athletically. We have more clubs than everyone. I mean, we truly have something for every learner, and that wouldn't happen without the coaches and the staff members willing to be liaisons to a lot of these student clubs. So we thank them for putting their hands and hearts and time and energy into continuing to push Mason quality into the future. Congratulations to, 9-time state champs is just silly. It's just something that, that's just a standard of excellence that just reflects a deep investment on the part of that coaching staff and those families and those athletes. It seriously just almost unfathomable to be able to sustain that level of excellence, and Ultimate Frisbee is very much well on their way to that standard. And so, grateful for all of that, and have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. It is not my favorite holiday. That one comes in December. But the time that's spent around the table with your loved ones is a cherished time. College kids come back home, looking forward to that as well. So everybody have a safe and happy holiday, and have a restful one. And if you can, share something with someone else. That's really what these moments are about, is that, we are grateful for the things and the blessings that we've received, but if we can bless others, that's an additional blessing. So with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you all.